A very good morning and welcome to the breakfast news on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. Nitish Kumar to take oath as Bihar Chief Minister again today. BJP offers unconditional support. Tejasvi Yadav to move court against governor's decision to invite Nitish. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in Beijing for BRICS meet, expected to meet State Councillor Yang Jiechi to resolve standoff in Sikkim. "29 more people killed in floods in Gujarat. The toll rises to 123. Calling attention motion on flood situation across states in Rajya Sabha today. Donald Trump to ban transgender people from serving in the US military, cites tremendous medical costs and disruption. And confident India to take on the field again after piling a 399 for 3 on the first day of the test match against Sri Lanka at Gal. Shikhar Dhawan slams career best 190. The top story of the day, Nitish Kumar will take oath again as the Chief Minister of Bihar. This time, however, it will be with the NDA support. On a day of fast-paced developments on Wednesday, he quit from the post amid a standoff with the Grand Alliance ally Lalu Yadav. Now, BJP offered unconditional support to Nitish Kumar, who later staked a claim to form the government. He'll be sworn in at 10 a.m. Now, Tejasvi Yadav has said that he will move court against the governor's decision to invite Nitish Kumar.
In a sudden turn of events, Nitish Kumar resigned as Bihar Chief Minister on Wednesday, citing irreconcilable differences with ally RJD on the issue of corruption charges against Tejasvi Yadav.
वर्तमान जो सरकार है जिसका मैं नेतृत्व कर रहा था, मुझको ये प्रतीत हो गया कि अब इसके आगे काम करना संभव नहीं है, क्योंकि मेरा कमिटमेंट बिहार के प्रति है, बिहार के लोगों के प्रति है, बिहार का विकास, न्याय के साथ विकास के प्रति मेरा कमिटमेंट है और हम उस कमिटमेंट को अब आगे ऐसी परिस्थिति में निभा नहीं सकते हैं.
Accusing his erstwhile alliance partner of throwing the state into a political crisis, Lalu Prasad, who heads the key alliance partner RJD, claimed that Nitish Kumar resigned to save himself from criminal charges.
नीतीश कुमार 302 के मुद्दाले हैं और उनको ये बात मालूम हो गई कि हिंदुस्तान का एक चीफ मिनिस्टर मर्डर केस का, आर्म्स एक्ट का अव्वल मुद्दाले है और उसके खिलाफ संज्ञान लिया जा चुका है. तेजस्वी पर तो कहीं कुछ बात का अता पता भी नहीं है.
The BJP reacted quickly to the developments. First, Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised Nitish and termed his decision as a fight against corruption. Nitish Kumar immediately thanked the Prime Minister for supporting his decision. Soon after, BJP state unit leaders met JDU legislators at Nitish Kumar's residence. After the meeting, Nitish, along with senior BJP leader Sushil Kumar Modi, drove to the Raj Bhavan to stake claim to form the government.
132 विधायकों के समर्थन का पत्र हम लोगों ने समर्पित किया है और माननीय राज्यपाल ने मुख्यमंत्री जी को शपथ ग्रहण के लिए आमंत्रित किया है. 10 बजे राजेंद्र मंडप के हॉल में शपथ ग्रहण का कार्यक्रम संपन्न होगा.
The Congress that was a part of the Grand Bihar Alliance termed the developments disappointing.
We are deeply disappointed by the news of resignation of Bihar Chief Minister Shri Nitish Kumar. Mahagathbandhan was given a 5-year mandate by people of Bihar based on its policies, principles and the cumulative leadership that we presented.
Tejasvi Yadav also met Bihar Governor Keshrinath Tripathi late last night. He questioned why his party was not invited to form the government despite being the single largest.
हमने यही कहा है कि सिंगल लार्जेस्ट होने के नाते संविधान में लिखा है और जस्टिस बोमई साहब का लिखा है कि जो लार्जेस्ट पार्टी है उसको गवर्नर खुद न्योता देते हैं. यहाँ तो हम खुद आए हैं, हम तो उम्मीद कर रहे थे कि गवर्नर साहब स्ट्रेंथ को देख करके वो आरजेडी को इनवाइट करेगी, एक मौका देगी गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करने का और हाउस में अपने मैंडेट को प्रूव करने का एक मौका दिया जाएगा, जो कि नहीं हुआ। तो हम लोग सब चीज़ों को देख रहे हैं। ये पूरे पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रैटेजी के तहत ये प्री प्लान इन लोगों की जो रही है, नीतीश कुमार जी और बीजेपी के लोगों का, ये पहले से तय था। तो तेजस्वी तो एक बहाना था।
Nitish Kumar will be sworn in today for the 6th time as Chief Minister of Bihar. Nitish, who led the Mahagathbandhan or Grand Alliance that also included the Congress to a stunning victory, was sworn in last time on November 20th, 2015. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. BJP Chief Amit Shah and Union Minister Smriti Irani will contest the Rajya Sabha elections from the state of Gujarat. The BJP Parliamentary Board's decision to bring the party chief to Parliament for the first time was announced by senior party leader JP Nadda. Elections will be held for 3 seats in the state on 8th of August. The party also announced that Union Minister Smriti Irani will be fielded for a second term from the state. Now, Smriti Irani's first term ends next month. The Parliamentary Board also named Sammapatya Ukli, a tribal leader from Madhya Pradesh, for the by-poll, which is being held following the death of Union Minister Anil Madhavi.
संसदीय बोर्ड इसका है कि जहां तक गुजरात के राज्यसभा की सीट है, हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष श्री अमित भाई शाह जी, संसदीय बोर्ड ने विचार किया है कि वह राज्यसभा के लिए मनोनीत होंगे और उसी तरीके से हमारी टेक्सटाइल मिनिस्टर और आईएनबी मिनिस्टर श्रीमती स्मृति जुबिन ईरानी जी, उनका नाम गुजरात से इन 2 सीटों पर चयन किया गया है।
Meanwhile, 5 TMC candidates on Wednesday filed their nomination for the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections from the state of West Bengal. Now, former West Bengal Pradesh Congress Committee President Manas Bunya, who had joined Trinamool Congress, was among the 5 TMC candidates. Apart from Bunya, 4 other TMC candidates were Derek O'Brien, Shukendu Shekhar Roy, Dola Sen and former Gorkha National Liberation Front leader Santa Chetri. Now, Bunya, a Congress MLA, had joined the party in September last year and he resigned as a legislator on Monday. Derek O'Brien, Shukendu Shekhar Roy and Dola Sen were renominated. Now, polls will be held for 6 Rajya Sabha seats from the state on 8th of August. News from Rajya Sabha and the centre on Wednesday said that it had taken all the steps to provide relief to the farmers who are facing hardships in the country. Now, Agriculture Minister Mohan also said that merely increasing the MSP or the minimum support price will not benefit the farming community.
Replying to the short duration discussion on the issue of agrarian crisis in the upper house, Agriculture Minister Mohan Singh listed all the steps taken by the Modi government in the last 3 years to help the farmers. The minister informed the members that central government has taken steps to ensure easy availability of loans to farming community and increased funds for assistance to them in case of natural calamities.
सभी पैक्सों का कंप्यूटरीकरण किया जाए, जिससे टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से विकास को भी गति मिलेगी और पारदर्शी तरीके से ऋण निर्णय हो पाएंगे और उनको ऋण मिल पाएगा। कि मोदी सरकार के पहले 5 वर्षों का जो कुल आवंटन था राज्यों के लिए, वो था 33,580 करोड़। मोदी सरकार बनने के तुरंत बाद उसको बढ़ाकर किया गया अगले 5 वर्षों का आवंटन 61,260 करोड़।
Opposition members expressed dissatisfaction with the minister's reply and staged a walkout in protest.
आपके कर्तव्य का परिणाम भी तो देश को भोगना है।
वे केवल कागजी है, इसलिए हम लोग असंतोष में यहाँ से वॉकआउट करते हैं।
आप कहाँ थे? आप सुनने का साहस नहीं।
The Agriculture Minister also informed the House that the crop insurance scheme has been a success and in the near future, the nation will be self-reliant in the field of pulses and oil seeds. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
More news from Rajya Sabha, where Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiren Rijiju informed the upper house on Wednesday that the government will soon strengthen the legal framework against racial discrimination. The Ministry of Home Affairs is in process of finalizing a comprehensive bill for insertion of new sections in the Indian Penal Code.
Responding to queries during question hour, Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiren Rijiju said the government can't take suo motu notice in cases of racial abuse. He was speaking in the context of a Khasi woman who was asked to leave the Delhi Golf Club in June for wearing her traditional attire. Rijiju said the Home Ministry had proposed to insert sections 153A and 509A in the Indian Penal Code to tackle racially motivated offences.
Racially motivated crimes. The Home Ministry has proposed to amend two provisions in the IPC, section 153A and section 509A. These are proposed to be inserted into the IPC sections.
Rijiju also told the House that chief secretaries across states had been instructed to ensure the safety of Kashmiris.
पूरे हम लोग गृह मंत्रालय ने पूरे राज्य हिंदुस्तान के जितने राज्य चीफ सेक्रेटरीज सबको निर्देश दिया है, एडवाइजरी जारी किया है कि कश्मीर के बच्चे को कहीं भी किसी प्रकार का तकलीफ नहीं पहुंचना चाहिए. ये हम लोग ने निर्देश भी जारी किया हुआ है. We have written to all the state governments, and for the information of this house, we have received the positive response from 7 states and union territories.
The Union Minister also dismissed claims that incidents of public lynching had increased in the NDA regime. He asserted that such incidents were reported under earlier governments as well. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from the lower house, where External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj on Wednesday made a statement on the 39 missing Indians in Mosul in Iraq. Now, Sushma Swaraj said that there is no concrete evidence that the 39 Indians abducted from Mosul in Iraq have been killed, and that she will not declare them dead without any evidence. Swaraj also said that the government will continue its efforts to trace the Indians.
बिना ठोस सबूत के किसी को मरा हुआ घोषित करना पाप है, और ये पाप मैं कभी नहीं करूंगी. तो हम लोग इसमें जो आगे बढ़ रहे थे वो यही सोचकर बढ़ रहे थे कि हमारी जिम्मेदारी या तो ठोस सबूत के साथ मारे जाने का मिल जाए तो वो बता दें, और जिंदा होने का मिल जाए तो वो बता दें. देखिए, अगर मैं मरा हुआ घोषित कर दूं तो मेरे लिए तो बहुत आसान है. ना ये लोग सवाल पूछेंगे, ना परिवारजन मेरे पास आएंगे. वो कहेंगे कि ठीक है, आपने कह दिया. मैं आपसे ये कह रही हूं कि जो मिसिंग नहीं है और बिलीव्ड टू बी किल्ड हैं, उनके लिए भी सरकारों की ये जिम्मेदारी है कि उनकी फाइल तब तक बंद ना की जाए जब तक उनके मारे जाने का कोई सबूत नहीं मिल जाए.
And on his second day in office, President Ramnath Kovind on Wednesday had a busy schedule with a large number of people, including Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP Chief Amit Shah calling on him. Rashtrapati Bhavan in a series of tweets said that besides them, Governor of Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh PB Acharya, Governor of Uttarakhand KK Paul, Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh called on the President. Now, C.R. Chaudhary, the Union Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, also called on Kovind. Kovind assumed office as the 14th President of the country on 25th of July. And the Union Cabinet on Wednesday cleared a new wage code bill, paving the way for consolidation of more than a dozen different central labour laws. Now, this bill will simplify the provisions of 4 labour-related laws dealing with the wages of labourers. The labour bill is likely to be introduced in the ongoing monsoon session of Parliament and is expected to benefit over 4 crore employees of the country. The Cabinet also raised the ceiling for gold deposits under the Sovereign Gold Bonus Scheme to make it more attractive. The investment limit per fiscal year has been increased to 4 kg for individuals, 4 kg for Hindu undivided families and 20 kg for trusts and similar entities which have been notified by the government from time to time. The revision of guidelines also aim to reduce the economic strains caused by the imports of gold and reduce the current account deficit as well. The Cabinet also gave ex post facto approval for the amendment to the Constitution to allow implementation of GST in Jammu and Kashmir. The approval paves the way for applicability of a GST regime in the state. While the entire country implemented GST from 1st of July, Jammu and Kashmir introduced the indirect tax regime on 8th of July. The Cabinet also approved revision of the cost of social, economic and caste census 2011. In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
जानजुआ राजपूत घराने से हूँ और मेरे खानदान की रगों में हमेशा ही फौजी खून रहा है। उस वक्त मैं हिंदुस्तान को एक अंग्रेज की नजर से देखता था।
अंग्रेजों का नमक खाया हमने, उसे खारिज कर दूं मैं?
लेकिन जब नजर साफ हुई तो मेरी समझ में आ गया, आजादी के लिए लड़ने वाली अगर कोई फौज है तो उसका नाम है आजाद हिंद फौज।
नमस्ते, मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी हो रही है ये देखकर कि आपका रिस्पांस बहुत अच्छा रहा है ट्रेलर के लिए, और आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपने इतनी शुभकामनाएं भेजी हैं।
Thanks for staying with us. And now an update on the situation of the floods across the state, and at least 29 people were killed in floods in Banaskantha district in Gujarat, taking the total deaths in the state so far to 123. Now, the government has announced a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the kin of those dead. Meanwhile, today in Rajya Sabha, Ripun Bora and Prasanna Achara will call the attention of the Minister of Home Affairs to the situation arising out of the recent floods in various parts of the country, particularly in Assam.
At least 29 people were killed on Wednesday in the floods in Banaskantha district following torrential rains in Gujarat. The death toll in the current monsoon season in the state now stands at 123. 12 more NDRF teams are being airlifted and rushed to Gujarat. Banaskantha and Patan are among the worst hit districts in the state. Meanwhile, the Gujarat government on Wednesday announced a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the kin of the deceased. Food packets and drinking water bottles were also distributed in the flood-hit areas.
अमूमन 10,000 से ज़्यादा लोगों को या एवोक्यूट किया गया था। फिर भी जहाँ पर भी ये पानी लो लाइन एरिया में कहीं पर भी जमा हुआ था, तो जो कंप्लेंट्स वगैरह कुछ मिली थी, तो उसके ऊपर जो लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है और इवन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है, वो जो भी सहायता प्रदान कर सकती है वो अभी कर रही है।
The army on Wednesday rescued 27 people from Rajasthan as the situation improved gradually. The Met Department has issued warning for heavy rainfall in the southeast and southwest parts of the state till today. In Jharkhand's Lohardaga district, an ambulance with 4 members of a family in it was washed away in the early hours of Wednesday. A massive search operation was launched to trace the victims even as the rains continued. Several low-lying residential areas across the state are facing flood-like situation due to heavy rains.
लगातार जो बारिश हो रही है, ये परसों से हो सकता है कि थोड़ा रुक कर बारिश होगी, लेकिन परसों भी बारिश होगी। इसके लिए हम लोगों ने चेतावनी भी जारी किया है कि कुछ जिले हैं जहां बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश होने की संभावना है।
As the flood situation in North Odisha improved, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik deputed 3 senior officers to separate districts and asked them to report him on the prevailing scenario. Districts in North Odisha are likely to escape a major flood this time, with the water level in major rivers showing a declining trend. The Met Department, however, warned that heavy rainfall is likely in a few places in the next 48 hours. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And a Delhi court on Wednesday sent a Kashmir separatist leader Shabir Shah to 7 days of Enforcement Directorate custody in connection with the money laundering case. The ED accused Shah of laundering money that was allegedly used to fund terror and unrest in Kashmir. The ED had on Tuesday arrested Shah after he had not responded to several summons issued by the agency. The Delhi court had earlier this month issued a non-bailable warrant against him. The ED registered a criminal case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act against Shah.
इस केस में कोई हकीकत ही नहीं है, ये पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा है, पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड है।
From last several years under house arrest by the state police. So how could he appear? Yesterday at 5 p.m. state government has withdrawn his security and the man from Delhi has flown to Srinagar and picked him up. Now court has given him 7 days remand. We'll file an application before the Honorable Court revealing all the facts.
And a police constable was shot dead by suspected militants in South Kashmir's Kulgam district on Wednesday evening. Police said that a slain cop, Gohar Nazir Tantre, was going back home on his motorcycle when the militants opened fire on him near a bridge. Tantre had joined as a constable in December last year and he was currently posted in Shopian district. Investigation in the case is on and a manhunt has been launched for the militants. Earlier in the day, security forces arrested a Lashkar-e-Toiba militant who was earlier involved in incidents of stone pelting in Sopore town of North Kashmir's Baramulla district. On to some other news. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval arrived in Beijing on Wednesday to attend a two-day meeting of the BRICS top security officials. Now, Doval's visit comes amid simmering tensions between India and China caused by the standoff near the Sikkim border. Now, Doval is expected to hold talks with the China's State Councillor Yang Jiechi on the sidelines of the meeting to resolve the issue. Though China maintains that there would not be any meaningful dialogue without unconditional withdrawal of Indian troops, the meeting between Doval and Yang Jiechi is expected to ease tensions between the two countries. During the two-day meet, he will also meet Chinese President Xi Jinping along with fellow officials for an interaction on security issues relating to BRICS countries. Now, Chinese and Indian troops have been locked in a face-off in the Tri-Junction area of Dokla for more than a month now after Indian troops stopped the Chinese army from building a road in that area. Big story coming in from Afghanistan, where Taliban fighters have killed at least 26 Afghan soldiers in the attack on their base near the key southern city of Kandahar. The militants attacked an army camp in Khakrez district of Kandahar last night. A defense ministry spokesman said that heavy fighting was continuing in the area and reinforcements have been summoned. 13 soldiers were wounded in the overnight battle. The Taliban say that they are in control of the base in Khakrez district, claiming that they have killed more than 70 soldiers and captured 7 in the fighting. The defense ministry, however, said that Afghan troops bravely resisted the attack and they killed or injured about 80 insurgents. There is no confirmation of either side's claims. Now, having captured most of the neighboring Helmand province in the recent months, the Taliban have launched a number of offensives in Kandahar and other provinces. There have also been a string of deadly attacks claimed by Taliban and Islamic State militants, mainly in the capital, Kabul. Big story from the United States, where President Donald Trump is barring transgender people from serving in the U.S. military in any capacity, citing tremendous medical costs and disruption. Now, Trump's announcement on Wednesday morning on Twitter did not say what would happen to the transgender people who are already in the army. The president tweeted that after consulting with the generals and military experts, the government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Now, Trump's decision drew swift reaction from the critics. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi called the move a cruel and arbitrary decision designed to humiliate transgender Americans who step forward to serve the country. Hundreds of transgender supporters also protested in Times Square against Trump's decision. The Obama administration decided last year to allow transgender people to serve openly in the military, but in June, Defense Secretary James Mattis agreed a 6-month delay in the recruitment of the transgender people.
The president has a lot of support for all Americans and certainly wants to protect all Americans at all times. The president's expressed concern since this Obama policy came into effect. But he's also voiced that this is a very expensive and disruptive policy, and based on consultation that he's had with his national security team, came to the conclusion that it erodes military readiness and unit cohesion, and made the decision based on that.
Once again, President Trump has shown his conduct is driven not by honor, decency, or national security, but by raw prejudice. And they've even said they thought this was a political advantage for them.
I love my country, the people I serve, and the people who serve with me. I've had so many people reaching out to me about the president's tweets. Here are the facts. We are not a disruption to the military. In fact, we're a vital part of it. Transgender service members serve as aircraft crew, mechanics, and even drill sergeants, and many other critical roles.
And in cricket, India will look for a big score in their first innings of the first test against Sri Lanka at Galle as they resume their innings on the second day today. On the first day, India dominated the proceedings as they amassed 399 for 3 thanks to brilliant runs from Shikhar Dhawan and Cheteshwar Pujara. Now, Dhawan's quick-fire highest test score of 190 runs came off just 168 balls as he and Cheteshwar Pujara tormented the Lankan bowling attack to strict 253 runs for the second wicket. Now, Dhawan and captain Virat Kohli then fell in quick succession, but then Ajinkya Rahane steadied the ship along with Pujara to lay a platform for a big total. Now, Pujara was on 144 not out and Rahane on 39 runs at the end of the day's play. For host Sri Lanka, pacer Pradeep took all the 3 wickets. Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari on Wednesday released a book titled Empowering the Marginalized, authored by Deepak Dwivedi. Now, speaking on the occasion, the Vice President said that empowering people and to strengthening their capacities should be the main objective of development. The event was also attended by former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah as well as the senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh.
Development is a very fashionable word. It has been used again and again. But development without inclusive development is a partial, one-sided, distorted exercise. And in order to move beyond one-sidedness, it has to include in its ambit those who are not in the ambit.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate a memorial of former President APJ Abdul Kalam at the latter's birthplace at Pei Parumbu near Rameshwaram. Now, this is to mark the 2nd anniversary of the former president's demise. Now, Prime Minister will hoist the national flag at the 15 crore memorial designed and built by the Defence Research and Development Organization or the DRDO. He will also unveil a statue of Dr. Abdul Kalam and offer floral tributes. He will also interact with the family members of later Dr. Kalam. The Prime Minister will also flag off the Sandesh Wahini Vision 2020 Rath that will take off from the memorial at Rameshwaram and reach the Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi on 15th of October, which is the 86th birth anniversary of Dr. Kalam. It carries pictures, videos and speeches which are elucidating Dr. Kalam's vision across 17 states, especially targeting the student community. The Prime Minister will also flag off a new express train from Ayodhya to Rameshwaram. He will end the day with a public address. That's it from me and my team in this edition of News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.